Welcome to another episode of the Quip Corner's Book Corner. Yes, this is part of the 2026 World Book and Copyright Day celebration in the Quip Corner. My next guest has been here more than once, but please join us and learn more about her book. See you in a bit. How have you been?
I've been busy, but good busy, working on various projects, exploring options for sharing my resources and learning how contemporary educators are using it and accessing it. And one of
Yes.
them is through podcasts. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why I'm here.
Nice,
Also,
nice.
because you're here.
Okay, thank you for including me in the picture. Pun intended.
Okay.
Well, welcome back to the Quip Corner's Book Corner, Sister Anna.
It's been a while, but not too long a time. And I'm especially pleased that you've invited me back to talk about one of my recent publications, Writing to Learn in Math class. And so
Yes.
ask me the questions and I'll share what we've done so far.
Yeah. When I read the title, Writing to Understand Math, I was like, okay, can somebody tell me more?
Yes. Well, some time ago in the 1980s, as a matter of fact,
Mm-hmm.
teachers who were looking for ways to encourage students to retain what they're learning, they
Okay.
did some exploration in the physical handwriting. And some of the research was showing that when students handwrite about what they're learning,
Yeah.
they not only get it while they're learning it, but more importantly, they retain it.
Saying it.
And then some researchers began to look at brain activity. And
Mm-hmm.
when they put measurements on the kids' head, students said they did it in college first, that when students hand wrote, the portion of their brain that activated was the same portion of the brain that retains information. And
Mm-hmm.
I read some research about uh, high school teachers in California who
Yeah.
are exploring this in science. And this gentleman, fortunately for the students who did it, unfortunately for the ones who did it, he had two sections at least. One section he had the students write regularly. The other
Okay.
class teaching the same lessons, they just taught it the same way. And he found that the students who wrote regularly retained 80% several months later. And when I read that, I said, I wonder if this will work in math.
Mm-hmm.
And I happened to be doing research at the University of California in San Diego at the time. And my research supervisor
Mm-hmm.
listened to what I had to say and said, why don't you try it? And so we did for the school year, probably for the first three quarters of the school year. One of the algebra teachers there said, I'm interested too, because all of my students, even though they are bright, they are not getting it algebra. And
Mm.
so we did. And I think I mentioned the last time I was here, one thing that was particularly funny for me and possibly embarrassing, I decided to sit in on her classes to watch what happened, but to also be a student because
Okay.
math is not my thing. And so one period I'm teaching English to ninth graders. The next period, I'm their classmate in an algebra class.
Uh-huh.
And they could see what I didn't know. Anyway, this teacher did this for a semester. But
Yeah.
to also balance it for research purposes, I contacted a teacher who worked near one of the marine training centers in Southern California. And she decided to try it in her class. And so over the next 9 months, I would visit each of their classes, ask them how it was doing, what it was doing. And it worked so well
Mm-hmm.
that I passed my master's. But part of it, the instructor says, why don't you do a handbook to share and show what you did?
Mm-hmm.
This was in 1989.
Mm.
During the next summer, the math teachers in the university said, well, why don't you and the teacher from your school come over and do workshops for our teachers this summer? It's one of those programs where teachers have to go to maintain their credentials.
Okay,
They
yeah.
show up with their knitting needles,
Mm-hmm.
but because we required writing, they were putting down their knitting needles, picking up their pencils and notebooks and writing.
Yes. Yeah.
That summer program turned out so well that when the National Council of Teachers of Math had their national conference, they
Mm-hmm.
invited the same teacher and I to come and do workshops for the national. This was
Nice.
in probably 1990.
Mm-hmm.
My research sat in a file cabinet until 3 years ago
Wow.
when a young lady that my daughter met at the airport was saying, my sister is teaching and it's really a struggle for her. And my daughter says, why don't you have her talk to my mother? And so my daughter came to me. So I said, you know, I don't teach math. And she said, but you know how to teach. Remember what you did when you did your master's? And so I
Mm.
pulled out my master's, excerpted that handbook, and shared it with this teacher. She used it. It
Wow.
worked. And I
Wow.
said, well, maybe it's time to come out with a handbook that we
Nice.
can share with contemporary teachers. So we went online to look at the research that's going on now to see whether 21st century teachers are finding that writing helps. And our math teachers starting to use it and began to see some of that. So I updated my research, found a friend to publish my book, and you invited me to come talk about it.
Wow.
So
Well, God is amazing. I mean, let's just
there's
put that out there first.
there's that. The
Truly, we cannot
amazing
do
that
life alone. I mean, see the connections.
you, you cannot do life alone. And just in the beginning, for me to do my research, to have two different teachers at two different schools willing to risk a school year working with something that I had learned about, and I'm not even a math teacher. That was God. Forget it. We just go there. But to also be in the airport when the twin sister of a struggling teacher chooses to talk to my daughter. And then here you are saying, come talk about it. My book would still be down in the filing cabinet if it weren't for all of you.
And because I'm a very visual person, what just occurred to me is that I'm wearing dots. I was about to say the dots were connecting, and I just realized, okay, you're even wearing polka dots.
You're wearing polka dots.
I guess
All
I'm
right.
dressed for it.
All right. You're wearing pearls too.
Yes.
Pearls are my birthstones, but I'm
Oh,
wearing a pearl too.
nice. Okay. See?
So there.
Connections.
But one of the
Wow.
things I can say, Sister Ada, is I called the young lady, her name is Lauren Schoen,
Mm-hmm.
and I called her when you told me that you were going to have me on. And I said, Lauren, you're teaching younger students this semester.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, she was teaching 10th and 11th.
Okay.
She's now teaching at a school here in the United States. They call them middle schools, which
Mm-hmm.
are grades 6 through 8.
Yeah.
She's using this. She can't
Nice.
use all of the things, but I said, please send me, she sent me an email of what she's using.
Mm-hmm.
The main thing she's using is the collaborative and cooperative learning strategies, what you
Nice.
just mentioned. We learn better together. And she will use some of the prompts, but have students go in her class. She's got whiteboards hanging around the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
She will have them go to the whiteboards and work together on the problems. She can walk around the classroom and see what they are learning.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows right then and there, we call it formative assessment. She has had to grade nothing. She's had to collect nothing. But those few minutes where she gives them a prompt, send them to the whiteboards,
Whiteboard.
have them work together. And she says the students are excited about learning math because of that kind of thing.
Format. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
so I'm hoping that the families who are watching now, teachers or
Mm-hmm.
parents,
Mm-hmm.
if parents consider giving this as a gift to your teachers, of
Yes.
your students.
Mm-hmm.
For teachers, purchase your own copy. There is nothing in here that cannot be used in any class across the content areas because all the questions is what questions do you have about the homework last night?
Yeah.
What we just did in class?
Mm-hmm.
What are you surprised that you are doing well?
Yeah.
What will you do now to
Mm.
maintain your grade or improve it? So
Yeah.
it's asking students to think about learning. When they begin to think, and particularly for students for whom English is not their heart language,
Yeah. Yeah.
if we educators give our students a few minutes to put into words, in this case into English, what questions they have,
Yeah.
when we open the floor for discussion, the students already have something written. And so they raise their hand because they're ready to speak.
Yeah.
And that's the other value of this.
Mm. Mm. Nice. Wow. Wow. Hmm. This is a
And
project and a half. That's all I'd say.
and all the way through the book,
Yeah.
we have pictures.
Nice.
What does it look like
Mm-hmm.
for a math teacher to use these strategies? And for those teachers who can't visualize what it looks like, we added pictures. And
Nice.
because we know that this is something that can work across cultures, our pictures show diverse learners, diverse teachers, diverse ages. So when a student is able to handwrite, usually about fourth or fifth grade, they can use this.
Nice.
Also, we're beginning to share it with college teachers working with adults in
Mm-hmm.
those first 2 years when they have
Yeah.
to take algebra and geometry and quantitative analysis and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Use these strategies.
Wow.
Find out what the students know,
Mm-hmm.
what they want to know, and what you need to teach. And that's what this is here for.
Nice. Well done. Wow. Wow. Hmm. And thank you for sending me the video. I'll add the link below this video so that people can also see that video.
Oh, good,
So that they
good.
can, yes, so that they can also
Okay.
watch it and learn more about this book. Besides Amazon, where else can people get copies of this book?
Luminescence LLC is
Okay.
the company who published this.
Uh-huh.
And it's also available through Ingram Sparks.
Okay.
And so they can get it that way. And educators who contact you personally
Mm-hmm.
and you send me their contact information, I'll send them a sample packet of
Okay.
this
Okay.
if they decide to purchase the book. But it'll
Okay.
have 4 pages of the strategies that are most easily adapted across any grade level. So if they
Okay.
contact you, uh, Quick Queen, I saw, will you contact Anna Roseboro and ask her to send me one of those sample packets? I'll send it
Okay.
because my first goal is to share with those who are teaching.
Yes, that's
Of course,
important
I
too.
would love to sell the books
Yeah.
as well, but
Yeah.
because you invite me here to talk about it, you give me an audience that I wouldn't have otherwise. And so, out of as thanks to you, I'll send it to them.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You're so kind. Thank you for your generosity. Okay, so we'll also add that information below.
Okay.
Yeah, if you can send me the name of the publisher and then
Mhm.
Ingram Spark, yes, I'll try and add that all below this video so people know how to get a hold of the book and also the free packet.
You remember the song that we learned about learning to write? Writing helps me think.
Mm-hmm.
Writing helps me to remember what I need to learn. Writing stimulates my brain. Writing keeps what I am learning stored within my brain.
Mm.
And I haven't found anyone to create a song out of that yet. But when I do talk about it, I usually remember to do that and see the students, the sixth graders who
Mm-hmm.
got up off their seats,
Yeah,
begin to clap. Writing
give
helps me
some
learn.
rhythm. Yeah,
That's it.
give some
So
rhythm.
the
Nice.
next time the teacher tells them to write and they don't feel like picking up that pencil, they'll remember. Writing
Song.
helps me think. Writing helps me to remember
Remember.
what I need to
Yes.
learn.
Yeah.
Writing stimulates my brain,
Mm-hmm.
helps me keep what I'm learning
In my
stored
brain.
within my brain. And
Nice.
that's the reason we encourage parents. Ask your students to write
Mm-hmm.
what they learned in school that day.
Yeah.
Just one sentence for any 2 classes. They'll be thinking,
True.
and
True. They'll be
thinking is the first,
drawing from that well.
that's it.
Yes.
Thinking is the first step to learning.
Yeah.
And I think we've used our time today.
Yes. Well, well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me and thank you for taking on this project. Just thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I say thank you for giving me this opportunity. I get to practice my promotion speech. So if someone else asked me, I said,
You got
check
it
out
pat
Quick,
down.
no, check out Quick Ada. Quick Ada. She's already asked me these questions. Check out her podcast.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that too.
Welcome.
God bless you.
Thank you. Same to you.
Amen. Amen. Interesting. Well, I found it interesting. Indeed, nothing we do is a waste. From so many years ago, 30 almost. Oh, what am I saying? 30 almost is over 30 years. That project and how it's given new life in today's world. Well, below this, you'll see information on how you can get this. And remember her generosity. If you contact me, I'd be happy to share your contact with her so that you can get the free packet. Like she said, conditions apply. But watch the video and you'll find out what those conditions are. I look forward to reading your comments on this video, and it will be great to read your reviews on the book when you get your copy. And it's also a good gift. Okie dokie. Thanks again for joining me. God bless you. Bye now.